up, Guncle fam, and welcome back to Your Favorite Guncle Podcast. It's your favorite Guncle and your favorite host. It's your boy, James, and today we are joined by a very, very special guest. It's your favorite Guncle husband. It's my husband, Mr. B. Bryant. How do you feel being here?
Very honored, very excited. How are you doing, Dirty J?
What? Dirty J is crazy, okay. But I wanted to clear up one thing. It's not Brian, okay? For a lot of people, a lot of my family, a lot of my friends, I'm calling y'all out. It is not Brian. It's Bryant with a T, okay? I just wanted to clear that up, okay? I'm calling y'all out because y'all need to do better. Crazy work. Today we're going to be talking about navigating in-laws, advice for a happy marriage. Okay, are you ready to get into this topic?
As ready as I'll ever be.
I don't think you're ready because you know what we need? I think you
What
know.
do we need?
It's always happy hour at Your Favorite Guncle Podcast. So we need to try our cocktail of the day. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, today we have my favorite. This is a cocktail that I love to drink on my own. It is cran apple with a little bit of lime and vodka because I'm trying to be healthy or whatever. You can do zero sugar cran if you're trying to be like me, but anyone works. Cheers.
All the sugar for me.
You know.
Thank you.
How is it?
Delicious.
Period. As I like to say, it's very moist. Very, very
moist.
All right. So, a listener wrote in. Are you ready for this?
I am.
A listener wrote in, "Hello, Dunkle. I need some help. Me and my girl have been married for 7 months, and her in-laws are getting on my nerves. They always have something to say and always in her ear. How do I deal with the in-laws?" Not always in their ear and getting on your nerves. It's only been 7 months. And they already on your nerves? Damn.
When did you meet them? 7 months? Nice.
It's crazy because I think it's important to remember that not only did you marry your girl, you married her family. Unfortunately, they're a package deal. Yeah. I mean, they should be if your girl is on no, I don't know. Some people don't feel that way about family. But for me, family, I come with my family. So, and I think...
Yeah. Marriage is the blending of families. It's families there when you want them, families there when you don't. And it's a beautiful thing.
It really is. But I think it's important that you remember that y'all team. So exactly. I think that if it is bothering you that her family has so much say in her opinion, I think that it's important that you communicate that.
Communicate what? Exactly, I'm sorry.
That he feels that her family is overstepping. He feels like, I'm tired. Like he's getting fed up, and his family. I would tell you like, hey, I am like your family is getting on my nerves, and this is why they're getting on my nerves, and communicate that to you, so that way you know how I'm feeling. Because what if your girl don't know? You know, so communication is key in any relationship. So it's very important that you communicate that to your partner.
Absolutely agree. Yes, yeah. Where the point is like, one, we did ask their opinion on this matter, maybe, or even if you did, like, is your decision based on what they're saying? That's like we're a team. They're there to help, but it's me and you. And I think, like if they're overstepping on our process, like that needs to be called out.
Yeah, but so for this, we're like giving advice to people who are. So this listener wrote in, and they're asking us for our opinion. So in this case, I'm giving them advice to communicate to their partner. So you're saying you're agreeing, or what are you saying?
Communicate with your partner of you.
We don't have to take two.
No. I disagree on the take two. But I said earlier was I agree with you of communicating with your partner. Like your parents are overstepping, but also like there's a grace of saying that as well. But for myself, I would say in this situation is like, it's hard to be like I didn't even ask for their opinion. I'm just telling you like this is what they said. You know, I'm communicating that to you. And if I come to the same decision that they did, that's annoying, sure. But also, it's finding that balance of like shut up family and coordinating to a happy agreement.
I agree. I think it's also very important to shield your partner. I also agree it's very important to protect your partner.
Yeah.
And I also think it's very important for you to be a team. So my thing is, if he's feeling like her family is overstepping, even though she may be feeling like her family is not overstepping, or she feels like she's agreeing with what her family is saying, is if he's feeling this type of way. So for him he needs to communicate to her how he's feeling, and she needs to receive that.
Yeah,
because it's my thing is, and that's important.
Yeah.
So that's why I said what I said, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, it's okay for you to take your family's counsel, and it's not wrong for her to do that. It's not wrong for her to confide in the people that she loves, and for her to take her family advice. That's not what I'm saying. But it's important for her to remember that she's not in a relationship with her family, and her family loves her.
Yeah.
Her family, their best interest is her, not him.
Yeah.
And so, if he's feeling this way, it's important for him to express that, and it's important for her to receive that.
Yeah.
And that's all I was saying by that.
Yeah.
Because isn't like family advice? I'm not saying X out your family. I'm not saying that, but it's important for you to like communicate that and to really like get to the nitty gritty of it, because that's that teamwork is important because y'all married. This is not a boyfriend. This is not a girlfriend. This is your wife, and this is your husband. Y'all entered this, not your family, not your thing. So at the end of the day, you got to stand 10 toes down for your man. And when he's telling you something, it is important for you to listen and to acknowledge that. And I'm like, because we're not here to say who's right or who's wrong. We're here to help you out and to give you a little nudge in the right direction. And how to deal with the in-laws, you have to remember that they are the closest people to your spouse. These are the people that raised her, so they do hold a lot of sway and a lot of opinion because it's just natural. Like, I know for me, I take my mom's advice, and I really like, and I'm sure you do.
Mom's boy forever.
100%. It is 100% natural to take your family's advice, and that's not what I'm saying. But it's also important to remember that you're in a relationship with your man, and you need to acknowledge how he feels, and you need to respect how he feels, and you also have to remember that your family only can be so much in your relationship.
Yeah,
it has that boundary has to be clear because it gets a little murky. But I think it's important for any relationship for you to really have that boundary really clear with your family, because family, I know firsthand family can destroy a relationship. I done seen it happen. Not saying like anyone in my family. I love you, sisters. But I'm like, I have seen where family can get involved and it can really damage a relationship. I think it's also important that you kind of like I think you should get to know your in-laws. I think that you should spend time with them. I think you should hear them out. And also, I think that you should talk to them when they're like saying something that you don't agree. Well, why do you feel like that? It's a whoop. We saved it. We did not knock it. Let me get a little sip, because it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. I said that so many times on this podcast, and I'm going to keep saying it. You have to handle everything with respect. I think that's key. Yeah.
Handling everything with respect. Like, they're gonna, especially with family, opinions are gonna be shared when you do not want them. But sometimes even when you don't want them, their opinions you agree with. And absolutely, I'm gonna engage with you and have this amazing conversation with you because we agree on something. And we're either like super excited about something together. That's awesome. And then there are times where you're gonna share your opinion, and I hate them. But I love you, like, we're family now, like, and I could hear you out and not really engage in the conversation, but be respectful towards you, during that conversation, and if I don't want to talk about it anymore, then I don't talk about it anymore. Like, they shared their piece, and somehow we find our way to the next conversation,
But also, my thing is, you should also define that line with your family. It can't just be my family gets to butt in anytime they want to, and that's okay.
I think the line is once it becomes disrespectful towards your spouse and standing 10 toes down for your spouse.
100%.
And at that point, I'm like, okay, we need to stop it right here, because what you said was some nonsense, But until that, I'm like, I'm not gonna fight with you because I don't want to fight with you. I just disagree with you on this.
Yeah, but I also think it's something too with letting your family. Like, I just think that comes along with boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's important for you to set those boundaries. It's important for your family to respect those boundaries. This is my husband. As my husband, you need to respect him just as much as you respect me. And if you don't respect him, at least respect me enough to show him respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't disrespect me by disrespecting my spouse or my husband, period. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's very important because my thing is, what if it's a situation where he's going around and he gets around them and now they're being very disrespectful to him, or they're saying little comments, or they're doing little things, because you know how family can get. Family can be very petty. My thing is, I feel like as my spouse, you should protect me. I feel like you should be
all the time.
You should be looking out for those things, and you should be checking people when they treat me some type of way. Best believe when I go over when you come over my family's house or anything like that, I'm not going to let them treat you any type of way. I'm not going to think because I just like, no, don't do that. You know what I mean? I know how my family is. I know how they can be. So I think it's your job to know your family and to really regulate that interaction because any problems with family put a strain on your relationship. If you're married and your spouse is beefing with your family, anybody in that situation knows it's not fun at all. Nobody wants to be in that situation. So if you can avoid that situation, make sure you're proactive. Like if you see things going left, or if you know your sister do something, you know your auntie be like this, you know your brother be like this. If you already know these things, don't do all that things with everybody else. Don't do that with my husband. Okay? So that way we don't have no beef. You know what I mean? And it's not me coming at you. It's just me making my boundaries. I talked about personal boundaries in the last episode. It is your right. It is telling people, it is a blueprint, telling people how I want to be treated, and it's right. The same thing goes for family. I want to be treated this way. If you treat me this way, we're all good. If you start treating me this way, we're going to have problems because I don't like it. And I think that's very important. How do you feel?
It's important to protect your spouse always, forever, especially with family, because family
and friends. But go ahead.
But especially with family, because as we said, they're the people closest to them, and it's also important for the spouse to express how they're feeling as well, to become part of that family, because being part of family is constantly pushing those boundaries, and you as part of the family, I think it's important to be like, that was not cool. I thought that was not cool, to create these relationships with these people, because now you're a family. You should be able to speak with them and tell them what's making you uncomfortable,
Yeah, communication.
Yeah. So, like, absolutely. I'm going to, like, when you're beefing with your family and you're like, blah, 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 and we're going to do this. I'm like, yeah, we are. Let's do it, And, like, I'm not going to repeat any affinities you said towards the family, but I'm like, you said what you said, sort of thing,
Yeah, and I felt that.
Yeah.
So just to recap, I also just to tie this thing on a bow. Also think it's important to seek counseling. My thing is, it's important to talk about those things. It's important to navigate. Family is a big part of your relationship, whether you want to believe it or not. Family is always going to be around. They're always going to play a little part. It's important that you learn how to navigate that sooner rather than later for a happy marriage, because I'm only happy when me and my husband's happy, when my family's happy, when everything in my life, because I want that for everybody. I can't be happy if I know my sister is beefing with my husband. I can't be happy if I know that my family don't fuck with my husband. That doesn't make me happy. That doesn't make me at ease. That actually stresses me out. So I think that it's important that you do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are on the same page when it comes to family, when it comes to your relationship. And I think that sometimes it's bigger than yourself. And there's nothing wrong with counseling, especially when you come from minority families. I can say because for me, as coming from like a Black household, counseling, you hear counseling and you think it's a problem. You see fire, you want to be like, what's wrong with you that you need to go to counseling? And it's not a bad thing. My thing is, it's like, let's talk about it with somebody who's licensed, who is a professional who know how to help us communicate, because I think that's very important in a relationship. And I think that can be the key from you having a 5-year marriage versus 25, 50 years and till death do us part kind of marriage. And I think that's really important. So what do you think?
As far as the counseling, like these are all words at this time, but like I really do think everyone has something to benefit from counseling. No matter how strong you feel you are, like these are skills and experiences and time well spent on yourself with counseling to be able to be stronger moving forward and more confident in your decision makings, because you've created these new coping mechanisms and understandings of your past. How dare you?
What?
How?
I do.
I'm just saying.
What did I do?
Chime in the comments if you think it's me said it all.
All right. So I hope that helped whoever wrote this question. Remember, you could always write your favorite gunkle. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. I actually don't follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. I have all those good things. Yeah, and write your favorite gunkle because I want to hear from you guys. So we're about to switch gears. Yeah. What'd you say?
MySpace.
Oh, he's not PC. All right. What is the best way to handle unwanted advice from your family?
Smile, nod. Easy.
Okay. How important is it for you to support your partner against their family?
The word that gets me here is against your family, but the best thing I could think of is when you, yourself, and myself were in the car with your sisters.
Oh my God, this is so funny. I love this.
They're in a disagreement, yelling in the middle.
We was going back and forth.
I don't even know where. It was a town though. Like we weren't in the middle of nowhere, but like I
was in Walnut Creek,
so it was nice. But still, like in the some parking lot, and James was like,
because I was not playing. Pull the phone over.
Wait, Bryant, talk some sense into him. Like, he said what he said.
No, his exact words was, I'm going with James, JD. Iconic, loved it. So, right answer. He supported his husband. He said 10 toes down. I wanted to get the fuck out the car. Yeah. I said pull over. And that's what it was. Okay. He got out. He did not care. We was in the middle of nowhere. We was gonna get out that car. I did not care. Yeah. Okay. So I appreciate you for that.
I love you. So if that's what you're saying, 100% all the time, always.
Period. I think that was the funny moment with your family. I think that was a good funny moment. Yeah. Do you have any funny moments that you want to share with the people?
With your family? I don't know. That's really hard for myself to be like identify a funny moment, because I don't know. Just being with family, you're just making jokes all the time, always.
All right. What advice would you give newlyweds about managing family relationships?
Managing family relationships. I put in effort. Make those boundaries. Pick your fights. So when I say make efforts, it's similar to making a friend, but this is family. So like, make friends with your family. Like, get to know them. Ask them about what they're doing with how's their job? How was their day? How are your kids?
Get to know them.
Yeah. And like create those boundaries as you do with your friend. Hey, when you did this, that was kind of not cool, and for these reasons, as you would do with your friend. You know.
Yeah.
What else did I say? Because I think they were really good 3 of put in effort. Dang, but like, they're just getting the most out of them by putting in that time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you for joining us today here at Your Favorite Guncle Podcast. Remember, send in those questions, like, subscribe, and also tell me what you like about the podcast, what you don't like about the podcast. Also throw out suggestions. If there's any topics y'all want to talk about it, I'm here. So make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those good things. And I'll see y'all next week here at Your Favorite Guncle Podcast. Love you guys. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.